Yeah, thank you so much, Jessica. And hello once again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today and for joining early. It's nice to have you all here today. Um, we are doing a lot of, I can see a lot of introductions have gone on in the chat already, and that we are already doing some getting to know each other better. It's Sorry, I'm trying to catch my breath. It's quite hot here. It's a very hot afternoon. Yeah. So it's nice to connect with you all again and to have you all here join us. It's always a beautiful experience having you with us. And today we have a special session and a very short but very special activity and session that we've put together and planned for you, and we do hope that you get to enjoy it and, you know, stay with us till the end. So today's session, we will we call it photography and Wikimedia Commons training, and it's just as simple as that. So we want to learn key photography tips for beginners like myself, especially also, I mean, including when you are using your mobile phones to take images, which a lot of people, majority of people use. So I am particularly excited for today's session because photography is something I really love, and I enjoy any opportunity to learn more from it. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And we would also practice how to upload images on Wikimedia Commons, which is the core theme for our quest 2, as we all know, which is ending tomorrow. So we want to also practice that and also receive feedbacks from to improve your submissions. So we want to assume that by now you've had your photo walks, you've taken your images, you've done your task, and what's just left is to upload them to your categories on Commons. So we are hoping that you'll be able to share some of those images with our special guest and trainer for today to receive some feedback and some, tips to better improve your images before putting them to Commons. And also, I just want to quickly say that if at any point during this my short presentation you can't hear me, please just unmute your mic to speak, or because yeah, the internet has been fluctuating, or see my screen as well. So we have a few participation principles as usual. This session is guided by the Wikimedia Friendly Space policy. And if we want you to be as free as you can, if you have questions or doubts, please raise your hand to speak. We encourage your active and open participation as well. And we really encourage you to be respectful towards every other person in the call and also listen with attention. So if you would like to speak as well, like I said earlier, please just raise your hand. Do not unmute your mic to interrupt the speaker, or um, when you're joining as well, please mute your mics as you're joining to so it does not interrupt the speaker and any other person that's speaking at the moment. So when you raise your hand and we see it, we're going to call on you and pass the mic to you. Okay. So before we continue to the training and the fun session and all of that, we want to quickly check in on how Quest 2 has been going for you. How have you been finding it? What are the challenges you've been facing? Or just how have you been finding it? And for that, we have created a quick and very short poll for you to uh, fill, and the QR code for the code is currently, for the poll rather, is currently displayed on the screen. We also have the link here, which I'll just um, paste in the chat.
I've shared it. No worries, Tarakat.
Okay, thank you. I am thinking of just presenting from here. Hey, so we already have some responses already. We have manageable, 67%. I am mostly interested in the first and the last options. I want to know those that have not started yet and those that have found it very, very easy so they can, give others some tips that they have made the challenge, I mean, the quest very, very easy. So, we have 9 responses now, and it's still manageable and a bit challenging. And while the poll is going on, it will go on only for a few, very few minutes. So we encourage you to share. If you have more to say, we encourage you to share that in the chat as well. So you can use the chat while the poll is going on to explain more about how you found or how you are currently finding the quest too. So we'll also be in the chat. We now have 11 responses. Yes, so now we are having a very challenging. We have a few people who are finding it very challenging, but still most people found it manageable. Interesting. So the poll is still going on. If you're just joining us, what we are currently doing is taking a survey on how you are currently finding the WikiQuest too. So just scan the QR code on the screen or follow the link in the chat to select an option. And you can also describe your experience in the chat so we can all see it if you would like to explain further. So we are torn between, oh, is it because I said I am particularly interested in these 2 options? Is that why no one has selected these 2 options? My bad. Please, please, please select them. And the poll is anonymous, so I don't even know. I just select. It's just interesting because we know that this is a more complex challenge compared to the first challenge. So we expect you to find it as challenging as you can find it. There's no holding back. And we also know that there might be a few experts amongst us as well that would find it very easy. So please be free to choose um, whatever option. So now we have 13 people that have responded to the poll. I know we have more people than this on this call. So please, 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 let's just quickly take I don't look like a novice. I am a novice. Why how do novices look? Okay, it is hot and cat. The quest was amazing with more engaging challenges that are more easy in a teamwork. Thank you for sharing this with us, Francisca. It was a bit challenging. Uh, what was the most challenging part of it? And this goes to Levi. Okay, the link to the poll is now opening. Okay, please try again, but I think we have had quite a number of responses already, and we're very glad to know that most people found it manageable, and we're very glad to have all of your responses. And this is what we were looking towards for this quest. So we'll still have our session later to have like a proper responses from you in regards to how you found the quest. So this is just to break open the session. And with that, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda. Sorry, please, if you are just joining, please mute your mics. And if you'd like to speak, just kindly raise your hand before unmuting your mic and the mic will be passed to you. Thank you very much for participating in the poll. And now we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda. Okay, so with that, I will be briefly introducing us today to our trainer. But before I pass the mic to our trainer, I just want us to, cheer him up, send our reactions, because if not, as usual, I am going to end the call and we can all go home. And he's going to go back home with his wealth of knowledge and all of that. So please let's show our excitement, because I am particularly excited for our trainer today. And Justice, why are you laughing? I can do it. They know me. I'll just take it away and we'll just go home. Yes, Karibu Sana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So we have Justice, and Justice is an experienced photographer and also an experienced Wikimedian who is also the chairperson on the board of Wikimedia User Group Ghana. So you can see that we are not playing. We brought our big gun for this session. And I will like to hand over to Justice to do a proper introduction and to also, kickstart the session because we don't have a lot of time and I want Justice to have a lot of time to share a lot of things with us today. So Justice, I'll be handing over the mic to you.
Sure. Thank you, everybody. My name is Justice Okai-Allotey, like I said. I'm a board chair of the Wikimedia Ghana user group. I've been a Wikimedian since 2016 February. So I have 10 plus years of experience, both as an editor and also as a community person, being a member of the Wikimedia Ghana user group, and then later a board chair now. So today my section will be excuse me, can you give me like 10 seconds? I need to fix something quick.
Sure, that's fine, Justice. Can see a lot of excitement already. I am also very excited. Yeah,
I'm
welcome.
back. Sorry about that. So today I'm going to share about how I started my journey in the Wikimedia movement. Also how my photography journey started, and then I'll share some basic photographic tips that you must know. And then for the majority of us that are also fascinated about phone photography, I'll share a few tips that you can learn, and then we'll go do a quick intro to commons category, how to create commons category, how to look for category and all those. And then we'll take some question and answers. So like I said, my name is Justice Okai-Allotey. I go by the username Owula kpakpo on all Wikimedia platforms. So like I said initially, my Wikimedia journey started the 20th of February 2016. I used to work at a space called Impact of Accra, which was sort of a startup accelerator for early stage businesses and also a community center for um, like non-profits to meet bloggers to have meetings and sort of a community center for most of us who were at the time out of school and then started working and then trying to run or build businesses. So um, I was invited at the time. I was working there and I got invited to a Wikipedia editor talk. And then I think Sunday State, who now works for the foundation, was the one who was doing the training at the time. And then after my first day joining, that was it. I got hooked to it. I also sort of at the time was part of an apprentice program that spoke about the power of a single story. And one of the most important thing at the time for me was the story about Ghana wasn't well represented on Wikipedia. The story about the African continent wasn't well represented, and it was taken always from the white and the point of view of an European or somebody from the global north. And so we had to come in and also change that narrative. So that was how um, we were able to also be part of it. And that was my motivation for largely being a Wikipedia editor at the time. So started in 2016, grew from a community volunteer, became a social media manager for the Wikimedia Ghana user group at the time, and then became a grantee or a co-grantee or one of the leads for the user group, and then currently the board chair of our board. We as a user group has been around for 2012, but then post 26, I think post COVID, we decided to formalize the user group as a proper nonprofit. So I have been on the board since we formalized and then became the board chair last 2 years. Yeah, so I've done a number of work within the community, being on the communications committee of the WMF, also be a working group member of Let's Connect. For most of you who are here, who are also part of Let's Connect, you would have received an email from me or seen my messages or um, emails on the various mailing lists and various platforms that we have as a movement. Being on um being a member of a number of also bodies within the movement, currently an advisory member of the Volunteer Supporters Network. And also in Ghana, I'm a humanist. So I'm part of the Humanist Association of Ghana. A community of atheists, agnostics, non-religious people within Ghana. So I'm also very much involved in activism, both within the social sector and then the governance space, making sure that we have a lot of gender parity and gender activism within the Ghanaian sector. So my photography journey started around the same time when I was active with the Wikimedia Ghana user when I actually started. So a year before that, I was part of the apprentice program. It was a 5 weeks workshop where we were taught a number of things. And then one of the things that we were taught was photography. So we were taken to a photography studio based in Accra, known as the 10,000 Words. They were a very professional photography studio. And then they gave us a crash course in photography. So like you can see here, this was the first day we went to the studio. We were taken through how to set up lighting, how to set up cameras and all those. And then we also posed for a few photos. So you could see some of the behind the scenes of the session. And then on the left bottom photo, you can see me receiving the certificate for being part of the apprentice program. And then on the right bottom was me learning to play around photography editing software. At the time, I was learning how to use Lightroom. So these were all the practical things that I was doing. And then over the time, started small, photographed a lot. I can say I have about over 15,000 plus images on Commons since I started in 2016 to now. The more you shoot, the more you become better at it. But then yeah, it's always good to start small. There's no harm in starting small. So like so yeah, like I'm saying, photography for me became something that I was passionate about because of the story about Chimamanda Adichie, The Dangers of a Single Story. So at this point, I'll move on to my photography tips for beginners. Regardless if you're a photographer who shoots with the camera and with the phone, one of the things you need to understand is you need to understand light and how to master exposure. So light basically is the all in all of a journey of a photographer. Photography basically is how to blend lights together to make an image. So understanding light, where the light source is coming from, would go a long way for you as a photographer. Also learning about exposure. So your photo should not be overly exposed, should not be underexposed, should be exposed in this right proportions so that anybody that is picking your photo would understand um where you are coming from and where the photo that you are taking. It doesn't matter what camera or what equipment you are using. The concept of light is always the same regardless. So you will notice anytime you shoot against the light source, which is probably the sun, which is like our natural light source that we all use, you will notice there will be like a silhouette. So the foreground of the image will be very dark, and then the back will be lit because you are shooting against the sun. So now you need to understand that if I want to shoot a portrait of a human being, I need to make sure that where the light source, so if they are facing, they should face directly to the sun. And so when the light falls on them, it gives them an evenly exposed image. And then now I can properly take my photo. So those are very important. They are once you're able to understand light and exposure, then now you also get to understand some of the most intricate details of maybe having the golden hour photos, taking silhouette photos, taking how do you call it? Like the other lighting compositions that you take your shadows, less photos with shadows, and all of those things. You would once you're able to understand light, and then you are with that understanding, you can master your exposure properly. Number two, almost make sure your photos are in focus and sharp. Nobody wants to see a blurred photo. So once you are shooting, always be careful that what you are shooting is in focus and then it's sharp. So once it's blurred, it automatically puts people off. So this is something you must pay particular attention to as a beginner. Also learn the composition rules of taking photos. So for some of us that are much more advanced, there are a lot of composition rules with length. There are the rules of thirds, there are leading lines, there are portraits, there are full frame photos. There are a lot of them. Once you're able to master those composition rules, you'll be able to compose images properly, and then your subject or any subject you are taking would be better. um for I don't have examples now, but then as we go on the practical session, I'll be able to show you some of the rules, composition rules I'm talking about. One of the things which is very important is if you are shooting a portrait of a human being, you make sure that they are in focus and they are looking how you want them to pose. You are posing them right. So those are some of the composition rules that you have to know. There are portraiture composition rules. There are landscape composition rules. There are also when you're doing um street photography, there are some of the composition rules that you need to know. Always use the camera you have at any particular point in time. Don't say, oh, because I don't have maybe a Sony camera, I don't have the new Canon full frame or mirrorless cameras, then I'm not a good photographer. No, I started shooting with a Nikon D7000. It was an entry level Nikon camera, and that was what I had at the time, and then that was what I made good use of it. So I make sure that I shot so much with that camera. If you woke me up in the morning, I can know my settings around that camera, and so it was easy for me to use that. And then currently I shoot with a Sony A7 III. um and it's also something because I'm new to Sony. I've been a Nikon and a Canon shooter. I'm still learning my way around it. But then with the knowledge of shooting my old camera, I'm able to operate the Sony camera effortlessly. So these are something that you need to understand as a photographer. No matter what camera you have, make sure that you are making good use of it. Also, the most important thing is learning basic post-processing and how to edit your photos. To be called a photographer, post-processing is very important. So how to once maybe you shot an overly exposed image, you need to make sure that once you are in post, you are maybe making sure that you're editing it right to have the correct exposure, to make sure that the photo is exposed right, and any form of things that are wrong with the photo is wrong. There are people who are pros who like to do heavy editing. So we call them retouchers. So those are the ones that are maybe into beauty, are into high-end retouching. So for people who are into fashion photography and all those things, they can be able to do so. So but basically there are softwares like Lightroom, there are Adobe Photoshop, there are Capture One. All these things are easy ways in which you can learn how to edit your photos. For mobile phone, I think there's Lightroom has a free mobile phone option. There's also InShot. There's also Visco. Visco also helps you to edit photos. There's CapCut. There's there are a number of them that you can use to also edit your photos. And the good thing too is that some of these cameras or the phones have internal softwares that you can use to edit your photos. So those are also tools that you can take advantage of, learn properly how to like expose right, how to make corrections to your photos. And those are also very important tips to learn. So at this point, I don't know if there are any questions for me on the general photography tips before I proceed to the phone photography tips. Yeah.
Hey, please, if you'd like to ask questions, raise your hands so we can pass the mic to you. And you can also leave a message, a comment or your question in the chat. Okay, so we see Peter's hand is raised. So Peter, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you very much for this section. I want to ask that because take section, you said that there are some equipment we can use, like some software we can use for editing, like Lightroom and all. I want to ask that can we upload? Is it possible for us to upload edited photos? And that's number one. Number two, for us, someone's like us that we have an experience on using advanced settings on mobile, for example, like Blackmagic app to take pictures. So is he welcome on Wiki Commons as well? Thank you.
Yes, you are free to upload edited photos on Commons. The only thing is your photo should have no promotional materials on there. So no watermarks on the photo. It should be a photo you took it yourself or edited it yourself. So those are the only things that matter. Any other thing you can, if you want to manipulate your photo anyhow, Commons will take it.
Hey, there's
Um,
also a
I see
question.
it in
Yeah,
the
sorry.
chat. Yeah, which app is mostly preferred when it comes to editing high-tech photos and videos? For others, there are different apps of photos that people use. People use Capture One. I currently, because of the computer I'm using, I'm able to only use Capture One for now. So I use Capture One. It's a photo editing software. There's Lightroom. It's also an Adobe software. There's Adobe Photoshop. It's also an Adobe software. Those are some of the high-end ones, and there are a few AI-powered softwares that you can also take advantage for or learn. But like I said, Lightroom, Photoshop, Capture One, those are like the main ones majority of photographers across the world use. And so with that, you'll be okay. For videos, if you are using phone, CapCut is always preferred. There are InShot, there are other video editing tools. You can also, TikTok also owns CapCut, so you can use TikTok to edit and then export them and then go and post it somewhere you'll feel comfortable. Um, for um for using a desktop computer, there's Final Cut, which is usually for only folks who are using iPhone or Apple or iOS. So Final Cut, and there's Adobe Premiere Pro. There's the Blackmagic software. It also has an editing portion in there, and then there are others. So there are a different variety of ones that you can use. So I think I'll move on to my next slide. Yes, so for some of us that are not always with our cameras that shoot with our phones, I think one tip you should always do as a phone photographer is make sure that your lens is clean. Your photography lens or your camera lens on your phone, you should always clean it before you take your photos. Sometimes your hands might touch the back of the camera, and then it might be blurred or something. Maybe you've received a call and your hands or something has touched it. So you need to always make sure that you clean your camera properly before taking any shots. Learn your about your phone camera settings. For me, I use an iPhone, so there are various settings on the iPhone that I have been able to master, that I am able to take photos. I can take time lapse photos with my phone. I can take landscape and then I've taken multiple images with my phone and uploaded them on my Visco channel. And you would think those were taken with professional pictures, but those were my personal photos on my phone. So you need to understand your settings very well. Those are very important as a photographer. Your settings on your camera, both on phone and on your DSLR, is very important. Like I said in the previous slide, your composition, practice your composition. You can shoot on the ground. So if maybe you're shooting a building which is up there, you can go down and then you shoot, and then you can have your image in the correct frame. When you are shooting with the phone and you are up and the person is maybe a short person, you might notice that you are not elevating the person properly. So you always have to come down and shoot so that the person can be in the frame properly. So those are things that you can, as a person, you can learn when you are learning about your composition. Maybe you have an image or you want to shoot a certain type of landscape, and then there's maybe something leaves or something around that you can compose your shot around those things as well. Also learn like basic post processing tools. These are also very critical. Like I said, there are phone ones, Snapseed, there's Lightroom, free ones for mobile. There's CapCut, there are other free mobile editing softwares. And I think practice, maybe the last tip that I was supposed to put on there was practice. Everything comes with practice. The more you practice as a photographer, the more you shoot, the more better you get at it, the more you understand composition, the more you understand lighting, the more you understand exposure. So you don't have to take practice, you don't have to like take it for granted. In this slide, I've seen
Yeah.
that asking if I can share this. So yes, definitely. I have links to some videos that I personally like. They explain mobile phone photography so well. They explain, one explains for those who are iPhone photographers, it gives you the concept of how to shoot with iPhone properly. Also like different shooting different types of things, landscape, portraiture, and all those things. It shows you all those things. And then there are the general phone photography. I have like 3 videos that I put in this slide, that when you go, you'll be able to see and engage with it properly. So I think now we'll go to the practical bits. Anybody here knows what commons categories are?
Hey, people. Justice is asking us questions. Do we know what commons categories are? What is commons category? You have answers, you can drop them in the chat or raise your hand.
So commons categories are basically a group of a category that groups like photos together. So for example,
Sorry, I just wanted to confirm, Justice, we're seeing on our screen Meet the Trainer slide
yeah,
by Varieties. Is that right?
no, I'll share my
Yours,
screen.
okay, perfect.
Yes. So, commons category are basically categories that are like you group photos together in one category, and then makes it easy for other Wikimedians to access it, or sometimes it goes on to affect certain Wikidata entries and stuff like as well. So I'll do a practical example of one category that I was one of the folks that um, influenced it significantly. So before the African Games category had a few photos from the various years, and it was mainly phone photographies, and wasn't really like professionally taking photos. So you will notice that some of the photos were like people's headshots that they are taking, and there wasn't properly organized. So in 2023, when our Wikimedia Ghana noticed that there was the African Games was happening in Ghana, one of the things that we set out to do was to document the games, and then donate all the images that we will take onto the category. So when you go to the African Games category, you will notice that compared to all the African games, the mother category, which is the African Games, you would see why I say that we made significant input into it. So this is the mother category, which is the African Games. When you go to the back end of this category, you will notice that it has a Wikidata info box. It has an African Games, which is linked to the mother African Games category. It also has 2024 sports events in Africa, sports events in Ghana, 2024 in multi-sport events, 2024 events in Ghana. These are all categories that when you go there, you can find the 2023 African Games category in there. So it is a very notable event or subject that you are covering. Most times they might have a Wikidata category, and that is what we use to create this info box on the right that you see here. So this info box was created using the Wikidata entry of the 2023 African Games, and a lot of the inputs we made by uploading photos was made onto Wikidata, which is now going to improve some of this section. And we had like various categories. We had the 2023 African Games by sports people, so arm wrestlers.
So sorry to cut in, Justice. I just
Sorry.
wanted to be sure if it's just on my end. I'm not sure we can see your screen, but I don't know if it's just on my end.
I can see the screen.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Just let's confirm that somebody else can, but I can see when he's looking at the links. Hussein, can you?
Any other person?
Yeah,
Hussein, can you
I
see
can
the
see
screen?
it.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah.
all right, great, thanks. So like I said, we grouped them by category game sportsmen. So we have volleyball, those who won medals, those who are swimmers, tennis players, unidentified sports people, arm wrestlers, and different types. And also we have them by country. So the countries that participated, anybody that we photographed, we had them by that as well. So when you look at the Algeria category, you see like the various subcategories, the names of the athlete, and then the photo they are in. So those are like some of the that we also took as well. So like I said, we have main categories, subcategories, and then within the subcategories, we can have also subcategories, and then you get to the images themselves. So um the those so let's take for example the wiki Digi Youth project. When we go here, it's part of category Wiki Digi Youth project. So this is the main category, and then under it we have subcategories. So Digi Youth Project Nigeria, Digi Youth Project Rwanda, which is currently empty, Digi Youth Project Tanzania, and Tanzania we have other subcategories. So we have Quest 2 and Digital Safari, like Clivity Digital Club Quest 2, which has 30 images so far. This is a great job so far. And then we have two empty ones. So probably those ones will be uploaded later. When you come to, so there are slides and flyers for the digital youth as well. And then the Rwanda one is empty. So when you go to Nigeria, under Nigeria, there are subcategories, and then there are photos that have been uploaded as well and in there. So this is to understand basically. This is how you build. This is how categories are on Commons. But then if you want to learn how to build your own category, the basic thing you need to do is so let's say I want to create a category on maybe this quest presentation that I'm doing. So I'll go to the search box, I'll do category, and then wiki digi youth quest 2 presentation, and then I search. So you'll notice when I search, nothing shows up, which means there are no categories for that. So you would see also here looking for special search. So then you click on looking for special search, and then I'll paste, like I'll do a special search as well. So with this, it goes on to do a second search where it tells me searches like gallery files, help, categories, creator institutions. If there are no categories on there, it will say there are no results matching this query. Create the page. So you'll notice this red link, category Wiki Digi Youth Quest 2 presentation. And so when you click on it, now it says you are creating category for that. And so if I want to create it and link it to the main the Wiki Digi Youth project, I'll do category Wiki Digi Youth project. And then when I come here, I would say, okay, show preview. So you'll notice that in the preview, it talks about there are no pages or files in there. So it means this category is going to be created. And so then in the edit summary, I'll say created a category under Wiki Digi Youth project. And then once you hit publish, it publishes for you. but I'm not sure this category is wide, so I won't hit publish. At this point, any questions? Any questions before I proceed? Okay, so since I don't want to create it, I'll go back. Yeah, so we go to the Digi Youth category, and then we find any form of image that we want in there. So I think now I can stop here, and then we can do photo sharing where participants would share their screen or show photos. Either they've uploaded to Commons, and then I'll give my feedback, and then we can proceed from there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Justice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can see a lot of interactions in the chat. People are really, really enjoying this session, and I believe you've shared a lot. In this very few minutes, you've shared a lot, and it's been a beautiful presentation. So, people, what we are doing now is we want you to share some of the photographs that you've taken as part of the quest 2. So you can share them on the screen. So Justice takes a look at them and then shares some tips, some feedback, and everything. It does not matter whether you've uploaded them to Commons or not. So we are all here to learn. So we are passing over to you now. We want to see. So if you'd like to share your screen, just raise your hand, and then we can share. Avoid having multiple people trying to share at the same time. And if you have questions as well that you just want to leave in the chat, you can do that as well. Yes, it can be any photo in general. It does not have to be part of the quest. So if you want some feedback, if you've taken an image, for example, and you don't know if it's the kind of image that can go on Wiki Commons, you can share it here and get feedback from Justice as well. And I know a number of us that are on this call have those questions. So please don't be shy. I'm saying this because I know that some people have reached out. So please don't be shy. We are all here to learn. Please don't be shy. And if you don't want to share directly with Justice, you can just send them to me on WhatsApp, and then I can share the screen on your behalf as well, if that's better. Okay, we have a hand. Dennis Jr. raised a hand, so I will be leaving the floor for you to share your screen. Thank you, Dennis. Hi, Dennis. Are you sharing?
Oh, okay. I like this image, but then, like I said, when I'm using the rules of third composition, the initial bit of the photo has taken a lot of the frame than the actual beauty, which is the water and the landscape that you wanted us to see. So maybe if you are cropping it, you'll probably crop it to a little before where the guardrails are so that we can see less of it and then more of the water and then the view that beyond the water is showing us. But I think this is amazing. There's a link to the rules of thirds in there. Also in the presentation, there's a link where I share photographers talk practically about framing. So if we are taking certain photos, especially landscape photos that has a lot of scenery, you'll make sure that the earlier ones you would cut it out and then you show more of the scenery. So that like you are showing us more. But now half of the image I'm seeing the pavement blocks, which for me is it distracts from the beauty of the image. But great job. I think the more practice, the more better you can get at it. Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Who wants to go next? Emil, I see your mic is muted. Do you want to share? Do you have a photo to share with us? Okay, I do not think so. So who wants to go next? Are we shy? Is it because we have a new face? So we have Justice here and we are shy. Don't be shy, just share. I'm particularly interested in seeing in as much feedbacks as we can get. So
We have
because
Mohammed and Peter have their
yeah,
hands up.
yeah, we have Mohammed now. So Mohammed, hey Mohammed, you have the floor to share your screen and share your photo with us. Hey, I Peter's hand is raised. Okay, Peter, can you share your screen while we are waiting for Mohammed? Okay, Mohammed has started sharing. Okay.
Okay. Mohammed, unfortunately, I don't know what you are showing me in this image. Um, I'm seeing a bunch of leaves wrapped together, but then the background is also very much visible in short. So if I was taking this photo, I'll probably place the leaves on either a very plain background where the distractions on the background is not in the either white or black because it's a little brown, but white preferably, so that only the leaves that you want to show would stand out. So that yeah, like people will know at least what you are showing. But here there's a lot of distractions going on in the photo, and so I'm not able to judge correctly what you are showing me. And even if I put it in the rules of third composition, I'm not seeing where the actual focus of the image is. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. If you are shooting something where the background is busy, know what you are shooting and then look at the background and also make sure that you are shooting in the background that would make your image stand out. So I think once you go closer a bit more or you put it in the background, we would fully understand what this image is. But yeah, great job so far. Thank you.
Hey.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I see Peter is sharing his screen. So.
Oh, great. So, great job. Like I said in the beginning of my speak about photography, exposure is very important. And so here you will notice that um the places where I see subjects in, it's badly exposed or underexposed. So I'm not able to see the face of the boy correctly. There are other things also in the background. So there's somebody um maybe with a pan on the head that is also there distracting a bit from the image. So sometimes when you are taking photos, even if it's a documentary, you can sort of direct how you want them to pose like, unless maybe you want them to be in their natural setting without any form of direction. But even with people with when even with photographers who do take like documentary photos, when you speak to them, you will notice that they also do direct some of them. So this one, if you had told maybe the girl with the pan on the head to have moved a little bit, you cleared a bit of the background. Yes, would have seen much better what this image is trying to portray. I know you can see the lines, but even if I'm using the leading lines, a bit of composition, it still doesn't lead me anywhere in this photo. So this is something that you must also pay attention to. But great job as well. Yeah, thank you.
I see Blessing's hand is raised.
Yes.
Okay, Blessing, you can share.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
Oh, nice. So I love this image as compared to the previous one by Dennis that we spoke about. This gives us like what we want to see. So the beginning, we see the waterfront, and then we are seeing the background, which is the views, the lights in the buildings. So I'm able to see that this is a proper, like a properly composited and landscape photo. It could be a bit brighter so that we could see a lot more of the details. But I think this is a great job. I love this image so much. I don't know if you took it with your phone, but if it's your phone, yeah, this is perfect. I love it. Yeah, great job.
Yeah, it was a phone.
Amazing. Yeah, great job. Like continue shooting and you need to just learn some of the composition rules and you'll be better. So let me share about the composition rules so that some of you will get it. So this is leading lines, what we call leading lines. Usually it's natural like road curves that you want the viewer, somebody watching the image, that would direct you to like the image, for example. So you would see that in this image, oh no. So you notice that in this image, there's a building, and then the lines clearly leads me to the building in the background. So I know that the focus is the building, and I'm seeing the building clearly. Another one that I think is perfect is with this, you will notice that the subject is the people with the umbrella, but the line, so the board lines, the guardrails, they lead my eye directly to the subject. This is what we call leading lines. So it's a photographic composition that it's well known globally. Once you're able to master it, you'll be very good at it. So another classic one is this one, where you will notice that there are shapes, there are lines, but then the subject is placed in between the lines and it's in the silhouette. So I'm able to see the subject very clearly. I see your hands up, Baraka.
Yes, Justice. I'm sorry to cut in. I just quickly wanted to let people know that we might run over the time slightly. So if you need to leave by 6:45, you can. We have the recording and we'll be sharing the recording shortly after the call. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So another one, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, so this is also another the composition rule, which is the rule of thirds. It basically means is that the photos are put in a 9 grid format, and where you position the subject shows you the beauty of the image you want to see. So for example, you see this one, the human being is positioned on the last bit of the third, so on the lines between the second and the third grid, all the way down. So we've positioned the subject there, and when you see the original image, you will be amazed. So these are like basic composition rules that as a person you can learn. So you place the subject between the grid to show like what form of like composition you want to give. Those are like very basic. So these two are like the basic ones that you need to learn. I think Jessica put um the Wikipedia explanation in the chat. I'll find the one for leading lines and then I'll add it to it as well. But then these are like compositions that you should be able to learn on your fingertips. Yeah, as a photographer. Yeah. Any questions?
Hey, Justice. I think I received a message now to help them share an image. So I can just quickly
Yeah,
share my
please.
screen.
I can do so. I think the person can share the image. Yeah. So like I said, this composition, it's also for those who are like in sculpture and things. Those are things that matter as well. Okay, send this image. Also, there's a lot going on in this image. I don't know what the real focus is. So if I'm supposed to take this image, all the cans and rubbers in there, I'll take them out, and then I'll focus only on the subject, which is I don't know if these are like um we use the
Cloves. I think they're
cloves,
cloves.
yes. Yeah, cloves, yes. So like you only focus on the cloves and you take out the containers in there and the plastics so that the cloves stand out. You can also like shoot in such a way that you are only focusing upwards on only the cloves. So I think the person who took this could maybe later, like when you are shooting things like that, make sure that the food is the only thing in focus. Anything else, we don't want to see it. So you take out all the other things, and then yeah. Any other example?
Hey, I think I'm sharing another one, but I don't know if you can still see my screen.
Yeah, I can see. So same for this. We don't know what the subject is. We just see a bunch of leaves tied together. Always keep in mind if you are shooting anything, make sure that whatever you are shooting is like is the focus of everything that you are shooting. So for this one like this, maybe a bunch would be okay, and then you place them on the white background, and then you take the photo, and that will be it. Yeah, I think that is it for me on this as well. Any other ones I can share? I can give.
Yes, I think we have a few in the chat. Okay, yeah, I've seen. I'll just share them. Hey, we have this. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm sorry.
Oh, nice. So with this perfectly late, like we say in photography, late image, we the photos or the subjects are clearly in focus. I can see them clearly. Yes. If anything else like is not properly distracting, um I don't know if this was taken with a phone or a camera, but then yeah, if I was to like add something to it, probably would have added a few room up there so that they can also be perfectly aligned in there. But this is yeah, world late image, and it's great. So yeah, I love it. Thank you. Whoever the photographer is, great job.
Okay, I think that's all that we have in regards to the images that were sorry, in regards to the feedback on images. That's all
Yeah.
the images that we have.
Okay, thank you, everybody, for attending this session. I'll pass it on to Barakat to complete. Thank you.
Sorry.
Wow, I cannot see any reactions. So was the session boring? Did we not enjoy it? Did we not learn anything? Thank you so much, Justice. Thank you. It was a beautiful session, a very interesting one. And I'll pass the mic to Jessica now. She has something to share.
Thank you, thank you. Justice, I don't know if you would have time just to do a quick upload of an image just to show how it is on Commons. Would that be something you could do? So I think you're muted in case you're speaking to me.
Sorry. So let me see. Yes, let me see if I have an image to upload.
Yeah,
So
just maybe some tips on how to best use like the other categories and the description and that. I think that would be useful.
sure. So let me go through recent photos I've taken recently. Um, okay, I think I know which images to upload. So recently I've started like doing a lot of work into tattoo arts and what they stand for. So I recently went to cover an event around that. So if you want to upload a photo on Commons, I think you go to commons.wikimedia.org, and then on the page you will see upload. And then on the upload version, when you are a newcomer, there'll be a learn section where it teaches you like what to do, what type of images can be uploaded, what not to do. You can only upload image you took it yourself, or images that you've been given rights to upload. Anything else is not allowed. No watermark should be on the image. So if I want to upload an image, I'll come here, go to the folder with the images. Um, mm, okay, so this is a photo of a Jinyami symbol. They are both Edikra symbols in Ghana. And so once I'm the one that uploaded this photo, this work was created by me, and anyone is free to use it. This work is entirely created by me. And then with the Commons licensing, current attributions that we use largely is CC by SA 4.0. So CC by SA means anybody can take my photo, remix it, do anything they want to it, but then they should like name that the photo was owned or was taken by me. So you can do anything you want to the photo, but make sure that you acknowledge who took the photo. So that's what the CC by SA means. It's attribution share alike. There's CC by the CCO, which is, and then there are different forms of attributions that are used. There's 3.0, 2.0, 2.4.1.0 and all that. But currently we are on 4.0. So I go to next, and then I titled the image a hand with J with a Jinyami tattoo. So I think I would use same for the caption. And here is where it gets interesting. I need to be able to identify this image in a category that would make sense. So I'll probably so I'll go to Commons and find a category that fits it. So I found a tattoo that I think would fit, which is category tattoos in Ghana. So then I come here in the section where it says category. It's either optional, you can either put it on there. But if I want to group my photos in a proper way, I want to group them in the right category. So tattoos in Ghana, you see the category has popped up. So then the date the image was taken, because I use a DSLR, it automatically keeps the date in the EXIF data of the image. So I don't need to do that. If there are like main subjects in the image, you would want to like describe everything that you see in the image. But this is just a hand with a tattoo. So maybe I can say hand with Okay, or I can say tattoo. Yeah, this is a tattoo. So all these are like structured data, which when you put on the image, anybody that Googles or goes to Wikidata and searches for tattoos and stuff like this, things like this will pop up. It will feed into the details. So then I'll go to publish. So now our image is now uploaded. Anybody that goes on Commons and goes to the category tattoos in Ghana or a hand with a Jinyami tattoo can find it. When you go to the category tattoos in Ghana, you would see similar inscriptions on there. It's a project that I'm trying to start lately where I shoot Ghanaians who have Jinyami inscriptions on their hand as tattoos. Yeah. Any questions on that? Yes, the tattoos were really great. This is another image that I took of a Jinyami symbol. I'm usually bad with the names of the symbols, so I'm not able to do so. But this I know is Jinyami, so I can say that very clearly. Same for this. This is also Jinyami as well. So yeah, questions. Any questions?
I see a question in the chat. Please, what is, I do not know how to pronounce this, but I don't want to butcher the pronunciation.
What is Jinyami? So Jinyami is a Ghanaian symbol which says unless, which literally means unless God. So it's a, I don't know, it forms part of the Edinkra symbols in Ghana. There's a Wikipedia page on it actually. So this one means unless God also. It's the tree language. So for anybody here who is from Ghana, it's the language, it's one of the Akan languages, which is tree, unless God. I see a hand that is asking questions. That was raised. Please, do you have a question for us?
Yes, Techno Mobile Limited, Techno CGS. Your hand is raised. Kindly unmute your mic. Okay. There's a question in the chat, which I think Jessica has also responded to, but maybe you can also. Okay, I think Techno is about, the user of Techno is about to speak.
Okay, sorry, I wanted to ask if it's possible to use the same title of an image with another person.
No. Once a title is taken, you cannot use that title anymore. It will even flag to you that this title or name of the image is already on Commons. So you cannot use the same name or title of an image the same time. Yeah. And I see that there's a question about whether we can upload images to Commons. Yes, you can upload images to Commons, but you have to make sure that the image is in the WebM format or VP9 video in a WebM container. Those are the only ways in which you can upload the image. And there are like tools that can allow you to do that. There are video to Commons. It's a tool that you can use to upload your images to Commons. I think there was a software or a platform that allowed people to upload images to Commons directly on there. I'll find that platform and then I'll share it. But it's one of the video holding platform as well, where people like keep their video files on there, and it had like a portion that allowed you to upload the images directly from there to Commons. But video to Commons is one of them that you can use, or you can just like change the category or the format of the video from either any video format you have to WebM, and then you can upload it. There are various free online like tools that can allow you to like convert the image to a WebM video file. So those are things that you can use as well.
Yes, thank you, Justice. I
Yes.
just wanted to.
Also, there's a question, follow the same procedure. Yes, follow the same procedure. Make sure that it's a video that you own copyright over. If you are going to use any audio or sound in the video, you have to clear them of any copyright violation. So you can't use a video or a sound which is copyrighted. So these are things that you have to play in mind. You can't add music to your video which you are not the composer of that music, or is not a freely licensed music that can be used for free. So those are things that you need to also pay attention to when you are uploading a video file. Yes. Barakat, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Thank you. So I just wanted to add to the response on the title, because it's possible that you took an image of, let's say, a hibiscus flower, and there are several hibiscus flower images already on Commons, and then you want to upload the image. But since we can use the same title again, you might be wondering, how do you now name your image? You can still give it hibiscus flower, but you can differentiate yours with a number. So you can say maybe hibiscus flower 01, or hibiscus flower. You can differentiate it with maybe where you took the image from. Hibiscus flower in Nigeria, for example. So if you also know the type of hibiscus flower it is, you can also say so hibiscus flower. So you can still use that title, but with a little modification. And I also know that some of us might be uploading the same contents as part of our quest too. So it's possible that we have the same title. So these are ways that you can differentiate yours from the other person's image that's of the same object. Thank you. And also, I think we have some more questions in the chat. Okay, yeah, they have been responded to. They've responded to. Thank you, Bukola and Jessica, for all the links that you've been sharing to the responses. And if you have more questions, you can always ask. And okay, yes, there's a question as well on a demo. Can you please do a demo again regarding to the title stuff?
Sure, I can do that. So I would show an example of a title that probably has been taken, and then you will notice it. Yeah. So mm, okay, let's say I want to upload this image. So this work is created by me. This created my entire work. So let's say I go in here and I try to use this title. So I don't know if you see the title has been used. Please choose a unique title. Tip, add the date or month or year of the work to make it unique. So this is an example of using a title that has been taken. So I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So always make sure that any title you are using is very unique and is to you alone. Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much, Justice and everyone, for staying. Let's appreciate Justice again. It's been a full session of learning and unlearning and relearning and tips, and I have enjoyed myself during this session, and I hope I can say the same for everyone on the call as well. So we will be rounding up the session now. We are far beyond time. I think we underestimated the time, and but I'm glad that we were able to come this far. So I'll just be sharing a few conclusions to round up, and we can take our photos and then go back to enjoying the rest of our day. Just give me a few seconds to share my screen. Hey, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you. So the next step now is to motivate you again. Just a quick reminder that our quest 2 is coming to an end tomorrow. So I'm sure we have all taken our images. I can see a lot of people that shared their images on this call for feedback from Justice. So I know that the images that will be seeing this quest 2 will be professional, and no worries, it's fine, even if they're not professionals, but I'm sure we'll just be as shocked as we were when we saw the results of the quest 1 as well. So you've got this, you can do it. And your photography journey and contributions to Wikimedia Commons does not have to end here. It does not have to end after quest 2. So you can keep practicing. So we're not just doing this project and this training just so that it ends there. We want you to keep practicing, keep doing it, keep taking pictures, and keep educating more people by uploading them to Commons. So when you upload to Commons, you are giving people the chance to use your images and learn from your images in an open way. Anyone on the internet can search for an image of, for example, maybe clothes, and it can be your image that will pop up. And that way you've educated someone as well. So let's keep doing it. Let's keep putting in our work and also support your teammates. So we can go back today, and then in your group chat, you can have questions. Even on the general group chat, you can keep asking questions. Justice is on the group, so you might not know, but it's there. So you can ask questions, you can send questions there, you can ask your trainers questions, you can ask me questions, you can ask Jessica questions, or any other team members as well. And submit your quest deliverables on time. Please, please, please do submit your deliverables tomorrow. So because any deliverables that comes in by Wednesday will not count as part of the quest too. So please submit your deliverables tomorrow. And to submit them, I don't want to take our time. We've already shared categories. So each club now has its own category. And Justice has shown us how to submit how to add categories to our images. So you're not creating a category from scratch. We've done that work already and they're already existing. So all you have to do is reach out to your trainers if they haven't shared it with you yet, or search for Wiki Digi Youth Projects Quest 2 or just search for the name of your club. Yes, just search for the name of your club. You will see your category on Commons and you can add it when you're uploading your images. So that your image can go to your own club category, because that's the only thing the jury will be using to evaluate your images. So thank you very much, everyone. And we are keeping our fingers crossed and we can't wait to see what we will have for quest 2. But before we go, let's, as usual, take a few pictures so I can, see your beautiful and handsome faces, and we can also document this moment. Okay, I will be. So I'm going to stop recording for this purpose. And also, if you want to, sorry, okay, I'm going to switch. No one here is English.
That's my language.
Tanzania.
Ekrole.
Ekrole.
Ekaso. Good to meet everyone virtually.
Nangongo.
Is the Kili Wiki Club here?
They are.
Wow. I'm
We are
really enjoying all your posts on Instagram. It's really captivating. I feel like I should join that club.